What's up guys, Rhino here and welcome to my latest FIFA 19 video. This video guys is going to be something a little bit different. So obviously, throughout the year pretty much all been based on Ultimate Team. But I'm actually going to be doing something a little bit different. Just so I've got something to create videos on, still FIFA based, but just something on the side to go along with Ultimate Team. And it's actually going to be a new career. I'm going to be doing a manager career mode. And I have a team in mind which I want to do it with, but it's just purely because only really recently, like Ultimate Team, the gameplay, it's not something that I can really kind of stomach for the whole week. And because of that, there's not always like a lot that I can do in terms of content. You do like the rewards, a little bit of a bit of champs, stuff like that, which is stream, but in general, the gameplay, it does really disappoint me at times. So I want to do a bit of career mode as well. I can get into career modes. I do love a good career mode, especially if you've got the imagination, then career mode can be absolutely phenomenal. It can work quite well. I'm not sure why it's not allowed us to download the latest updates there. Does seem to be struggling. I'm not gonna take any of these, but I'm not gonna take like the increase on the transfer budget or the extra global scout or anything like that. That's not really anything that I'm sort of looking to do. I like to try and make it just as difficult as possible. Really, there's no need to go in with the with the extra bit of transfer funds. Just you don't really need it, to be honest. The way the budgets are these days in the game, I'm just going to back out a second. I have no idea why it's not actually letting me download the updates, and we'll connect up to the servers. The way the budgets are, you just don't really need it. Like, I think the team I'm going with has about 50 million anyway, so they should be fine. I mean, I know granted like some of the prices are a little bit higher, but especially in the first transfer window, guys, I'm not even actually going to be going out there and buying any players. I like to always kind of stick with the actual set squad that is there at the start, and then we'll just kind of work with that. And I like to kind of try out all the players just so I know for sure which ones I want to keep and which ones I want to get rid of. Because sometimes there's some players out there that don't necessarily look that good, but are actually a little bit better. This is what's going on. Is this what I mean? This game, this is like, there's no wonder that I can't sit there and play Ultimate Team, and they can't even get the simplest of things right. Like what is the reason for this? There's supposed to be like a percentage bar that comes up that tells you how to do it. It's unbelievable. It's literally the simplest of things that literally refuse to work. It's unreal. It's actually unreal. I mean, I try not to get angry with it, but you just can't help. There we go. There we go, boys. There we go. It got there eventually. There we go. That's all we need to see. A few numbers. Yeah, happy days. Look at that. Right, 100%. Now we can go in with the actual squads. I don't want to go in with the squads from the start of the year. It's going to be Premier League based this career. To be honest, originally I was thinking maybe like French League, something like that. I do quite like careers in French League. They always tend to be like the kind of almost actually the hardest from what I found. There's a lot of teams that are very similar level. I know you got PSG out there like in front, and maybe you could say like Lyon and maybe possibly like Marseille as well. But there's a lot of teams that are similar kind of level. But I am just going to start with the classic Premier League. Just keep it nice and simple to start with, and then over time, if this is quite popular and you guys want to see a different team, then we can do other teams, stuff like that. And I'm actually going to be going this time with Wolves, which is maybe controversial. It's a team which I actually really like. I really enjoyed like everything that they've done in the Premier League so far this season since they've been promoted. I think they've credit to them how they've sort of taken it by storm, haven't they? They've played with absolutely no fear, and I like that they play like a different formation. I like their players. Well, they to be honest, a lot of their teams quite like you see like Portuguese or like Portuguese league base, isn't it? That's it seems to be the sort of I don't know, like also like the criteria for players when they buy them, but they're very exciting team. I think a lot of people like him really from what they've done. So I was going to call myself Nuno Espirito Santo, and we'll make him Portuguese. And what's kind of the closest? That's probably the closest to him actually, isn't it? The one we've already got, and we'll have him in a tracksuit as well. That will do. So yeah, that's what the magic's going to look like. In terms of all this, guys, I'm going to stick it up onto the ultimate difficulty. Half length's going to stay at 6 minutes. Obviously, Sterling. Have the European competitions enabled. Transfer window enabled. Latest squads, obviously playing at Molyneux. This is kind of like the big thing in terms of the difficulty. in previous years, the highest you could ever go on career mode was legendary. Even though they had ultimate difficulty on ultimate team, you couldn't use it on career mode, and it's really frustrating because for me, like at times using legendary, it became a little bit too easy. Like I know, like one career I did last year, I did it with Crystal Palace, and in my first season, like I won the Premier League title, won the Carabao Cup, and I had like Christian Benteke as my top scorer. I mean, that's just pointless. You know what I mean? Like the career mode's over after one season. There's just no point. Like you could be like, I want to go and try win the Champions League, whatever, but it's not realistic in any way, shape or form. I wouldn't mind winning the Champions League after a couple of seasons, but there's no point doing it straight away. So hopefully with this on Ultimate, we shouldn't storm the league. I still like if I could get top half finish, that'd be phenomenal. I'd love to get top half finish, but for me, the aim is pretty much just survive. I mean, I imagine that's probably what it's going to be for a team like Wolves, obviously just coming up. Maybe it might be mid-table just because they have spent a little bit of money and they've got a bit of a budget as well, so maybe mid-table, but it's not going to be anything above mid-table, I can't imagine. So it should be okay, really. It's going to be the sort of thing where in terms of what's classed as a success, it's going to be entirely down to me and what I decide. And to be honest, like, I'm more than happy just to be going for mid-table, really. The top half finish would be absolutely fine. Obviously, it talks about the European International Cup that we just entered there, a little pre-season tournament. Don't need to look too much into that. It's just telling you the transfer market is open. We've got all our kind of like objectives and expectations there. I'll have a look at that at the end. So we've got the first scout report has arrived. I'm not actually going to use that. The scout introduced himself as well. I don't tend to use any of the various kind of like scout things that they've got. So let's go ahead and look at what our objectives are for the year. So the first one, which is the youth development, so we need to sign 4 players in the youth academy assigned to each of the following positions. So we need a goalkeeper, a defender, midfielder, and a forward. So I presume that's one of each. I don't think that's four of each one. I'm pretty sure that is just you need to get one goalkeeper, one defender, one midfielder, one forward. So that should be pretty easy. We'll set that up. Brand exposure. So within 3 seasons, okay. Increase season ticket holders with at least 10% of the stadium's capacity. So that's not really something that's like really in my hands. That's obviously just going to be if we play well. I'm sure it will just gradually go up. All the fans will start wanting to get their season tickets, I suppose. Financially, there's not actually any objectives. I've never seen that before. I've never seen there's not been any objectives. That is a little bit strange. This must be something new this year. I never saw anything like that last year. This is actually my first proper career mode. You might have saw when I was just loading up the save, like making a save file for it. There was a Wolves one there. That is literally because I played one practice match with them just to make sure that they were the team which I kind of wanted to go with. Just so I liked a few of the players. Didn't want to kind of start it up and then quit straight away. So I'm pretty confident I should be able to make this last for a little bit of time. So yeah, domestic success. Premier League finished mid-table, so that's absolutely fine. I'm more than happy with that. I kind of expect that. I mean, obviously, maybe it might have been just like avoid relegation, but I think mid-table, that's absolutely fine. I can accept that. I think mid-table of class is like 14th and up usually, so 14th should be pretty easy to get. I'll be a little bit disappointed if we finish 14th. I'd like to kind of get top half. In the FA Cup, we need to get to at least the last 16. There's no objective for the Carabao Cup. There never has been any objectives for the Carabao Cup, to be fair. So I don't know if that is just something they just never ever do, or if that's the same on this game. I don't really understand why it's FA Cup specific, because for me that would be a bit stupid, because if I went and won the Carabao Cup and then finish and knocked out in like the 3rd round of the FA Cup, they'd say that's failure. I mean, it's not failure at all. Like, you won a trophy, but it just doesn't really match up to what they're asking for there, which is a bit strange. Continental success, obviously very low, so no objectives there because we aren't in a continental competition. So not too bad, really. I mean, a lot of those are sort of things that we'll just kind of achieve gradually over the year. You can see we've got 56.85 million for a transfer budget, 107 grand on the wage budget, so that's pretty good. Like I said, I'm not actually going to go ahead and make any signings straight away. That might be the sort of thing that in January, if you guys have got any suggestions, any players that you want me to pick up, that are obviously kind of realistic, so don't obviously say like, oh yeah, buy Cristiano Ronaldo. That then obviously by all means I may have a look at those and may decide to get them. I might not decide to get all of them. I'm not going to promise that I'll get all of them. I may not be able to get all of them if there's so many that I can't afford all the players, then obviously I won't. I'll just pick out a couple from there, like from the comments or whatever. If you guys want to leave any stuff in the comments below, different players like that, which I'll get. But obviously not really any need to do that right now because I won't be getting to the January transfer window for a few days at least. And I just, in terms of like everything else, gonna quickly kind of have a little run through everything, really, all the various tabs. I mean, plan really for this video is just kind of rattle through this and just get to like the first game of the season. I'll probably play the first game, get a few highlights together just to stick in there, and then that'll be pretty much it really. Else it will drag on for quite a while. I imagine the first one as like an introductory video probably be at least 30 minutes. I would have thought. I don't think it will be that short. We have a look at the squad, guys. So I know for a fact that this starting lineup is exactly how I want it. But like I said, when I did the little kind of like practice run through, I had a look at the team anyway. Then this starting lineup is literally perfect. Like, it's how they play. It's exactly how I'd want them to play. I don't think there's really any players here in the bench reserves which I'd rather put into the team. So that's absolutely fine. So yeah, it is in like a 5-2-3 formation. I think that is. Yeah, it's a 5-2-3. So Patricio in goal. Obviously insane. I mean, he's the highest rated player. Right wing back is Doherty. Left wing back is Johnny. Centre backs, you've got Bolly, Cody and Bennett. And then in midfield, we've got the two absolute ballers, the technicians. We've got Ruben Neves and Jaume Coutinho. Right wing is Helder Costa. Left wing is Diogo Jota. And up front is Raul Jimenez. So, yeah, pretty decent team, to be fair. There's not really like any kind of major weaknesses there. You could probably say maybe like Cody and Bennett, but to be honest, I'm more than happy to play them right now. I don't really mind that. I'm sure they'll be absolutely fine. In terms of bench, I will just move Dendoncker into there instead of Vinagre. I think that's how you pronounce his name. I'm not entirely sure. He is another youngster. I think he's only 19. He's absolutely rapid. He is a left wing back, so he'll probably be like a cup player, like cup competitions, like squad sort of player. But you never know. Like, injuries are probably bound to come about, and I'm sure he will end up getting some game time. In terms of the bench, I like to just kind of move it the other way. I don't know why they always put the forwards like at the top end, and then they put the goalkeepers and defenders stuff at the end. I always like to have it the other way around, so I'm just going to quickly sort that out. But yeah, that'll be fine for a bench. We've got Bonatini as a backup to Jimenez. There's Caballero and Adama Traore as backups to the two wingers, although, to be honest, I think Adama Traore could probably play up front. He doesn't actually have it on his thing, but I wouldn't mind putting him up front. I mean, he's absolutely rapid. He's not going to be the best finisher in the world, but he'd probably be okay. You got Dendoncker there. Now, Dendoncker can actually play centre-back or centre-mid, I would say. I'm pretty sure he's probably got CDM on it. Yeah, so CDM, centre-mid. So that's, good to have that versatility for him. There's Gibbs White, who can play centre-mid cam or left wing, so that's not too bad. He only has 2-star weak for though, which is a little bit disturbing. But he's a young player. I'm sure like his stats will improve. You got Saiss as well, who's a pretty good player in centre mid. So more than enough options really. Is he left footed? Okay, that's good to know. In terms of reserves, guys, this is kind of the bit which is not so good, I would have to say. Like, I don't actually really know a lot of these players, I have to say, and I can't say I've really seen many of them actually play in the league. I've not seen all of Wolves' games this season. I wouldn't admit that, but yeah, I've definitely not really heard of half these players. The only one I've heard of is that Vinagre, but he looks okay. Iorfa, I'm not really sure how you pronounce it, but again, he's pretty similar to Vinagre. He's pretty quick. He's 6'4" though as well, which is incredible for somebody of that speed. So that's pretty good. He'll be a good option as a backup to Doherty. Norris, I think I have heard of in goal, but the rest of these, I honestly have no idea who they are. So I'll probably end up selling a few of these, I have to admit. I don't really tend to use a lot of players that I don't really know of. So they may end up out the door, but obviously I won't be selling them all because I need some sort of squad. And I'm sure I wouldn't be actually allowed to sell them all. I'm sure some of those are probably like youth players that have just come in maybe, and you just physically can't get rid of them. I'm sure that is probably the case. In terms of like how I go about this, I just need to kind of get used to all the menus again. I know they changed for last year, but I didn't do many career modes last year. I think I literally only did the Crystal Palace one, so can't remember exactly everything which is kind of going on. We got a few players that are out on loan. So we got Ofosu, Aya, Johnson, House, Ebanks, Landell, Bath, Zyro. We've got anything else? We've got Graham, Enabakare, and Rafa Mir. Now, Rafa Mir is a very good striker, actually. He'll be a good player to bring back, actually. I'll be very, very keen to get him back from his loan at Las Palmas, but there's probably till the end of the season, that one. I'm not sure if you can actually see how long it is, but if he comes back at the end of the season, that'd be fine. I mean, we may have improved by then. I'd admit he might not be kind of needed by that point, but we'll see. He could still be quite a useful player. I'm just going to quickly go through and just like transfer list a few players. But just trying to get this set up really, guys. Obviously, it's all sorted by position, so I'd like to have at least 3 goalkeepers. So I could probably bin off 2 of these, but then I need to be careful by like age and stuff like that. So that Will Norris, he's 24 now. Is he going to have a huge amount of potential? I'd probably actually rather keep Burgoyne, if that's how you pronounce his name, just because he's only 3 ratings lower, but he is actually 3 years younger. So if I can sell Norris, then that might be a good way to go. And also Sondergaard, he's 17, but he's only 54 rated, so he's not going to be that great. So we'll probably keep Ruddy, Burgoyne and Patricio. Right wing backs, this Rasmussen, who is 20, he can just go. Hopefully we can get something for him. Also, we can't do anything with these guys that are out on loan. There's Cameron John, who is only 54 rated. Now, I know he's 18, but when the players are that low rated, I don't think they're ever going to get to the point where I would consider them to be in my starting lineup. So I'll probably try and get rid of him. I'll keep the rest of these guys. To be fair, there's a lot of centre-backs. They're all centre-backs out on loan, actually, aren't they? That's mad. We've not actually got many. There's only 4 centre-backs, actually, in this entire squad, which isn't great. I wonder if... do any of the... To be fair, I suppose playing like a back 5 or a back 3, you can probably get away with playing a fullback on one of the wide centre-back roles anyway. It shouldn't really be too bad. I'm sure like Johnny can probably actually play that role. Maybe even Doherty as well. Actually, Doherty should be okay, shouldn't he? I'm not sure. Can you look at his... you can't look at his height or anything from there, but I'm sure he's quite tall. I'd imagine him to be quite a tall player. So that should be okay. 4 centre-backs would be alright. I mean, even if I had this guy, I wouldn't really feel too confident using him, actually. So that'll be fine to get rid of him. We've got quite a few left wing backs going around here as well. Now, we'll get rid of Giles. I've just obviously backed out of that. I may keep around one of those other left wing backs. He's pretty similar to the one which I just got rid of, but this Kitolano, 1862 rated. I'll probably keep him around just to like keep 1 or 2 extra players just in case we do get hit really badly with injuries. I know like last couple of years with career mode, you don't tend to get injuries as much as you did maybe back in say like FIFA 12, FIFA 13, stuff like that. They aren't really as common, but at the same time, you never know. Like, you just don't know. This game could be completely different, so it's going to probably be worth keeping a couple of players around. Zyro's obviously not something we can actually do anything with. I'm going to get rid of this Elliot Watt. He doesn't really look that good either. Pedro Goncalves, I'll keep him around, actually. I'll keep Connor Ronan around as well. Out of all the players in reserves, I think he was like the highest rated, so I'll keep him. No need to get rid of any of these guys. I'm going to get rid of Niall Ennis. I don't really see the point in having him. Benny Ashley Seal. What a name. Yeah, I'm going to get rid of him as well. I'm going to have quite a bit of a clear out, as you can see, guys. The thing which you got to kind of consider as well, I mean, look at that. This guy's at 27. He's only 64 rated. He's got to go. There's no point having him. Even though I'm obviously transfer listing a lot of these players, I can't imagine that they won't all go, will they? Let's face it. Like, I'm only going to sell somebody if I get like a pretty decent amount of money for them. I'm not going to let anybody go on the cheap. So if the bid doesn't come in, then they don't go. Basically, I'm not gonna force players out of the club. There's no point. You know, it's good to have them around, but it's just if I can make a little bit of take me to the instructions. If I can make a little bit of money out of some players, just like in preparation for January, if we do want to make some signings, then happy days. We'll do that. There's absolutely no problem with that. Actually, creating a bit of funds. Obviously, I'm gonna have to go and get a youth scout, whatever they're called, to obviously get that objective done. So that'll cost a little bit of a transfer budget anyway. Obviously, not the whole amount, but just be nice to kind of replenish it there. There's nothing else to do on here apart from, we could do training. I'm not going to bother with that right now. I don't really tend to do training too much in general, if I'm honest. There's not really much point in kind of going through that in like huge amounts of depth. I may do it once or twice in pre-season. I'm not going to it's not something I do every week. There's no point. I don't do it every single time it becomes available. But I may do it once or twice. If we've got an officer, we've got youth staff, so is where you're going to want to do this. You're going to hire a scout. Obviously, just get the best one possible. So the ones with like the best star ratings is going to be Douglas Young. He's got 5-star for experience and 4 out of 5 stars for judgment. So you can see he top corner. He's still got like 56 million. I think it costs like 2.5 million to get him as a scout. I'll take another one. This time we will take Telis Alexopoulos. I don't know how you pronounce that. 2.8 million for him. So he's 4-star, 5-star. So yeah, just the opposite to the other guy. So we will get him as well. And for a third scout, we will have to go for Nicolas Martin. It might be Martin actually, since he's French. 2.8 million for him as well. So yeah, we'll get those all in, and we'll just quickly set them up as well. Obviously, I'll probably send them all to like a different country, so I'm not going to specify like certain types of players. I'll just see what they can kind of deliver for me, really. We'll set up one in England. There's no harm in doing that. I'm going to do it for 6 months, just because 3 months is not really enough. But if you do it for 9 months, you're going pretty much to the end of the season. So I want to kind of... What I tend to do is I let them find the players that they find, and then just let them watch those players over the rest of the kind of the period that the scout is set up for. And then I make like, it's almost like a judgment day. I'll decide like at the end of the 6-month period who goes into my youth academy and who doesn't, and then who can go into the actual squad. So if I did it for 9 months, if I waited right to the end of 9 months, I'd probably end up failing the objective because the season would probably be over by that point. So there's no point doing that. This Greek guy, I'm going to send him to Portugal because, we got quite a bit of reputation for signing Portuguese players. And also, I'm going to send the other one to their neighbours in Spain as well. So 6 months there, French guy off to Spain. So we got scouts up in England, Portugal and Spain. For 6 months, looking for just any players really, just any bright young talent that we can find to bring to Wolverhampton Wanderers. So hopefully they'll be quite successful. Takes us down to 48 million on the transfer budget, which is not too bad. Still leaves us with a little bit of money there for anything that's required really. You never know, it might be like renewing contracts, things like that. We may have to like adjust our budget also slightly in different ways. Have a look at the calendar of the fixtures. So we got like Wolfsburg, Besiktas and Hertha Berlin there for the pre-season tournament. May have a couple of other games. Hopefully have a couple of other games. It means we've got into like the semi-final or the final of the tournament. But in terms of the league fixtures in August, so we've got Everton on the opening day of the season. That is at Molineux, so that's good. We start the campaign at home. We then go to the King Power, take on Leicester, and then we welcome the champions to Molineux. So yeah, Everton, Leicester, Man City. Pretty tough start to the season, to be honest. I mean, we've not got any like the real kind of pushovers in the league there, so that's going to be difficult. Obviously, I can go. I'm not going to go through every single month. We'll have a look at like the Christmas period, which is obviously the busiest bit. So, a couple of the big boys in there, a couple of like fairly nice fixtures as well. Bit of a mixed bag there. At least we've not got any of the big boys kind of back to back. So there's Cardiff, then Chelsea. So Cardiff is away, Chelsea's at home, Newcastle away, Bournemouth at home, Liverpool's at home. Fulham is away, and then away at Tottenham as well. So fairly kind of tough little run there. Obviously goes into January as well. It's not as busy in January. It's not too bad. In terms of the running, go from like April through. So at the start of April, we've got Man United at Molineux. We then go to St Mary's. We welcome Brighton, and we got to go to Vicarage Road. And then in May, we have 2 final fixtures: at home to Fulham. And on the final day of the season, we've got to go to Anfield, which is going to be very, very tough, especially if there's someone on the line. I mean, we don't know. We might just be like in mid-table, kind of just like floating around, not really going for like any of the top honours or like European football, but not close to the drop. But every place means money on here. So, if there's any possibility that we can move up or down a place, it's going to be a pretty tough game on the end of the season, especially if they're going for the title, if they're going for like top 4 or anything like that. I'm sure they'll be well up for that. Now, I think that's pretty much it. I think we sort of start rattling through. There's not really anything else to kind of go through there. So just simulate through a couple of the things. Obviously, just the preseason games are just going to simulate. I don't see the point in playing them. There's no point really. You kind of take the risk maybe picking up the odd injury or two, but I'm not going to bother. Vinagre wants to make a request of playing. Well, unfortunately, mate, I've got my team sorted, and I don't care if it's pre-season. You ain't playing. I'm a bit harsh like that, but whatever. If he kicks up a fuss and leaves, then he can leave. I don't really care. Not my problem. Right. He'll be regretting. He'll be like, oh, I wish I could play for the best team in the world. So we got 1-0 up from Jota. I may even skip these, to be fair, just to make sure that the video doesn't go like really far. I'll just watch this through on this one, but the other ones I'll probably just skip. So they equalised through Mali, but Jimenez has made it 2-1 to us, and we win the opening game of the group against Wolfsburg. That's a good win against a top side, to be fair. So not bad at all. There's been a transfer offer for Joe Mason. That was the 27-year-old, wasn't it? 360 grand from Sion. He's valued at 475 grand, so I'm not going to let him go for that. I'm not going to let him go for absolute dirt cheap kind of price. He's on 12 grand a week. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and try and negotiate a deal to try and get a little bit more out of him. I don't know if we'll necessarily get the 475 grand, but you know, if we can get, I don't know, like 450, something like that, and that'll be fine. We're not going to go through all this. I'm sure you guys have probably seen this before. It's all the same kind of stuff that was on FIFA 18, so it's not really too much. You just got to propose a transfer fee. I'll go ahead. I'll just say I want what he's worth. I want the 475 grand that he is worth. Can you give it to me? They may say no, so that's as much as they're willing to pay. So unfortunately, you know, they ain't getting him. If that's, I might try. I know they say that's as much as they're willing to pay. I may counter just to make sure. I'll go ahead and just say, you know what about 450? Because they might change their minds. You never know. They could change their mind for 450. But if that is literally as far as they're willing to go, if they say that again, then we'll just have to call it off. Oh, see, there you go. They've agreed to that. See, it's weird, isn't it? They say they ain't going to go any higher. You drop it down by 25 grand, and you know what? Well, yeah, all right, we'll have him. So yeah, it looks like he's going to be going to Sion, provided that he can obviously agree his personal terms and stuff like that. I know sometimes it might fall through because players, you know, they just like personal reasons, or there's like obviously weird things that come through saying like, oh, they don't want to live in that country. You know, you sometimes get that. Like a player will be like, oh, I want to move. I'm like homesick, I'm not liking the weather and stuff like that, and then they'll move to another team in your league, and you're okay. So is the weather different, like 50 miles away? Is it different climate? Don't think so. So yeah, Wolves against Besiktas, and we win 2-0. Jota and Jimenez see off the Turkish giants. So we're going to be in the knockout stages, which is, you know, very good stuff. 2 wins out of 2, so we're definitely going to be going through. It's just whether or not we can win the group now, just to get ourselves a slightly easier semi-final. And we have actually got the team which is vying for top spot of us. So all we need to do here is get a draw, and we will win the group. So yeah, Mason has gone. So yeah, off you pop, mate. Off to Switzerland for him to go and play for FC Sion. So yeah, Wolves versus Hertha Berlin. I would like to say it's at Molyneux, but you never know, because it's a pre-season tournament. It might be in like America, something like that. I don't know if they do that on FIFA, but it's probably just at Molyneux. So Skelbred did score for them, but we've actually spun it on its head with Jota and Jimenez to put us 2-1 up. Moutinho with a goal. I think that probably means we won 5-1 in the end. So Jota with his second of the game and Jimenez with his second of the game gets us a 5-1 victory. Maximum points in the pre-season tournament group stages. And you know, that's a big statement. It's a big statement going into the semi-finals. It gets us £1,144,000 of our transfer budget, which is not too bad at all. Which kind of gets us a little bit back from what we spent on the scout. We've got A-Bar in the semi-final. I could have a look at what the other one is, but there's not really much point. There's a transfer offer here for Cameron John of £110,000 from, where was it? TSV Hartberg. I don't know, maybe that's like a Bundesliga 3rd division team, something like that, I would have thought. Yeah, he's valued. Well, they actually, to be fair, I didn't look at this for the other guy, actually. The little message underneath. I only looked at the value in the top left, so I don't know if he had something. But this one, so he's valued at 110, which is what they've offered. But it does, yeah, to say somewhere between like 82 grand and 120 grand. So you know what, I'm actually going to accept that. I'm more than happy to get rid of him. I don't really care for like an extra 10 grand or anything like that, if that is something I can maybe negotiate. There's not really much point in that. I may as well just get the sale done, get him out from under our skin. Helder Costa is wanted by Stuttgart for £7 million. He's valued about 6.5. It says somewhere between about 6.2 and 9.1. Well, to be honest, I don't really care at all, because you know I'm just going to reject that. To be honest, I probably should have Can I block? Yeah, actually I can block offers for him. So we won't get any more offers for Helder Costa. There's no point in that. I won't accept no matter what, really. Not at this stage. There's no way I'm going to get like a mammoth kind of fee for him. There may be some players down the line that, even though they might be key players in the side, I may just let them go if I can get like huge fees for them. But at this point, obviously, you can't get the value up by them being like top scorer or being in good form or anything like that. So there's no point in trying to force too much out of it. Will Norris, they've offered 490 grand. He's valued between it's about 390 and 570. So yeah, we'll just let him go as well. That'll be fine. That was one of the goalkeepers which I was willing to offload, so he'll be fine to go. So yeah, Eibar in the semi-final. Wonder what's going to come out of this. It looks like they drew a couple of their games actually there to get it, so that they didn't really convince too much on the way. I would skip it, but I'm kind of nervous to skip it. I like to be in front before I skip it. Okay, Bolly has put us 1-0 up. Oh, Alvarez has levelled up pretty rapidly. So 1-1, so that you never know, we could lose this actually, guys. This could be potentially a loss. I don't think they do extra time in these, I'm not sure. Jota's put us 2-1 up, and that is enough to get us into the final. That is enough. So, you know, we could get ourselves our first trophy of the career mode. We got Torino in the final. There's a press conference of that. I'm just going to quickly motivate the boys, even though I'm sure they don't really need too much motivating for a cup final. 2.6 million for the transfer budget as well, which is always nice. I'm sure we get a little bit anyway, even if we lose in the final of this, but it would be quite nice to win it, just get a little bit more. Cameron John, pretty sure I did actually accept one offer for him as a sell-on clause as well. Apparently there's a sell-on clause for him. We'll just accept that. You know what? Whatever. I don't really. I don't care. Transfer talks broke down between him and Hartberg, so that might happen again. That that other team that just came in for him, it may happen again. That's obviously, like I said, like that's the perks of it. Sometimes you think you've got somebody off the books and they just don't go, and they just won't go anywhere. You can literally agree fees to countless clubs and they just won't go. Belotti has put Torino 1-0 up. Tough. He's a good striker, to be fair. It's difficult. Nkulu 2-0. Looks like we're going to lose in the final, which is a little bit disappointing. But you know what? We've done pretty well to get to this point. Moutinho did pick up a little bit of an injury, but he's not been forced off, so I'm sure it'll be too serious. Yeah, we have lost 2-0 to Torino in the final. So unfortunate, but good effort from the boys. And now we can just sort of concentrate on the league. Yeah, wow. Norris has broken down to Kasim Pasa as well. This injury is 3 days for Jaume Martinez, so that's absolutely fine. He'll be there for the opening game. Yeah, apologies guys. I feel like it is probably dragging on a little bit. I mean, I said I wanted to get the first game in, but maybe that might have to wait. That could possibly have to wait. I feel like this is getting on a bit. I've not got an actual timer for how long this has been going for, but just from looking at the clock, I imagine that it has probably already been about half an hour. So I might leave the opening game of the season for episode 2 and just have this as kind of like, the setup, the introductory kind of thing to get this going. There is a transfer offer for John Ruddy from Fluminense. I mean, could you imagine him playing in Brazil? Wow. It's 1.5 million. He's valued at a pretty decent amount, but he is not a player who is for sale, unfortunately. So yeah, we're going to reject that offer. I won't kind of block offers for him. There's not too much point, but we'll just reject that. Let's make our way along, just see if there are any more offers, just so you guys kind of keep up to date with these. You know what? I've just had another offer for him. Let's how do I do it? There we go. Let's block the offers for John Ruddy. Let's get on my nerves. I don't think I'd get too many, but 2 offers in the space of probably about 4 or 5 days. That's a little bit too frequent for my liking. Yeah, we just got that big game against Everton on the opening day. Hopefully we can pick up a win, but it would be nice early 3 points on the board, but it's going to be tough. So, what's this one here? It says he rejected, so they couldn't reach agreement on contract terms. Is that the same team? I don't know. Let's just accept that. Let's just see if we can get rid of him. I don't really know what's going on with his situation, to be honest. He seems a bit fussy, really, where he wants to go. He just really should just be pleased to play football, if I'm honest. But he seems a bit fussy. There's a transfer offer for Niall Ennis of 210 grand. from... I ain't even going to try and pronounce that. Just go there, mate. Good luck pronouncing that team. It's just, let's get him out. Let's get him off, up and away. So only a few days away now. What have we got? Yeah, he just doesn't look like he's going to go anywhere, does he? To be honest, it's a very, very strange one. We got a few players like this. So I keep accepting offers for them, and they just ain't going anywhere. We may not be able to get them off the book straight away. That might be, you never know, maybe in like January or like next summer they might be a bit more willing to go. It could just be because they might be the sort of players that have literally just joined potentially. There's actually wow for Ruben Neves on loan. No chance from Hoffenheim. Let's just block offers for him. He ain't going anywhere. We are building the club around him. What's his transfer for Norris? 560 grand. That's the biggest one yet. If he can agree terms to join there, which to be honest, I don't see why not. Bristol City, you know, it's not like he's leaving the country or anything, so that should be okay for him to go to Bristol City. That would be quite good. So hopefully he can agree to that. There is a monthly scouting update report on a few of the players. I'll kind of have a look at that in a second once we've sorted out this Ennis guy. Just accept that. Just go, please. Like, just get out of my club. I've just skipped. Yeah, get out. And then Ashley Seal, 320 grand. Yeah, he'd be alright to go, wouldn't he? He'd be alright. He can swim away. Let's just quickly go through this, make sure I don't... So, I only really want players that have got okay potential. Their potentials do kind of vary. So, that, you know, they've just sent me some guy, their potential rating of like 56 to 76. So, we just don't want him, do we? We'll just reject. So, that guy we'll reject as well. Any of these ones that have got like a maximum of sort of like 90 plus, we'll keep them around. So, all players currently on this report will be scouted further. That's absolutely fine. We'll scout them further. We'll just basically go for another month, and the longer you go, the more accurate the potential will be. So right now you can see there's about, it ranges for about 20 overalls to decide what their potential will be. Once the scout knows them a bit better, he'll then obviously give me a bit more of an idea if it's a player I want to keep. I don't really want to keep something like that because even though it says 94, most of the time it drops. There aren't many players that stick at about 94. So if you've got a player that's like the one there is like an 82, chances are by the time that he's been scouted properly, it's probably going to be about 74, 75. He's not really going to be that good, so no point in keeping him. But yeah, all of those English players are pretty good, really, except one. 85, you know what, I'm willing to give him a chance. Just see, you never know, he might be one of the rare ones which does stay at about 85, so that'd be fine to keep him around for an extra month. There's no harm in doing that at all. We're into August now, guys, so we are into the month for the opening game of the season. It'll only be a matter of days away now, probably like a week, some of that. Wisla Krakow have made an offer for Oscar Burr Rasmussen, I think. 200 grand. Yeah, why not? Why not? John has gone. Cameron John has gone for 110 grand to Disgrafschap. Alright. I have no idea where they play. Sounds maybe like Danish, Swiss, I don't know, no idea. Yeah, probably a Swiss side actually. Who's that? Wesley. He's gone to Liverpool. Big sign in there. Big sign, and no idea who it is. Yeah, there it is. Okay, Everton. Everton opening game of the season on the Saturday. There's already been one game in the Premier League, and it's what a result that has been. Look, Manchester United have lost by a goal to nil to Leicester City. Whoa. I like this new layout actually for the table. I love how it's got all the fixtures down the side, so you can check all the results for that month, and then go through and see all the fixtures for that month, and you can flick through all the months like all the way through, so you can see like final. If you go down to like final game of the season, there you've got it there. Look, like Liverpool versus Wolves. You can see it's like Leicester, Chelsea. Some decent games on there, like Burnley, Arsenal, things like that. So that's quite good. I do like that. It's got all that there. It's a lot clearer. It's a lot more kind of easily accessible. Like in the past, you had to go to all these different tabs just to get it all up and like remember things. It's at 41 million for Luis Alberto. Wow. Yeah, Adrian Silva with a goal for Leicester. But that's going to be it, guys, for this first video. That's obviously gone on for a little bit of time. I imagine that's quite long. I'll find out in a second. Actually, it's pretty long. So yeah, credit to you guys if you actually may stick around for that. Obviously, it's kind of like all the boring stuff really, but I've got to do it just so you know. There's obviously some of you guys that do want to see it, and it's good to know everything about what's going on in the club. Like, you don't want to be wondering where particular players are. Like, if you're like, oh, why are you using them? Well, it's because I don't have them anymore. So it's always good to know what is kind of going on. I like to give you guys as much kind of in-depth knowledge about everything that's going on in the career as much as possible, really. I mean, you should know everything that's going on with it. So yeah, that's obviously really all for you guys on that first video. But next video will be the opening game of the season. I'll probably have like 2 or 3 games, to be honest, in the first video. I may even just, to be honest, probably what I'll do is actually just smash my way through August and just get through to the end of the transfer window, and then the season will like fully begin. So yeah, I expect that in the next video, guys, really. But yeah, hopefully that was fairly enjoyable. I mean, as much as there wasn't really a lot happening in it. Obviously, if you did like it, then feel free to leave a like, comment, and let me know what you think, if you're excited for this career mode. You know, you could give me some suggestions for signs if you wanted to. As much as, like I said, I'm not going to buy anybody in this window, but you know, I can always keep them kind of stored up, ready for the January transfer window. As always, just like suggestions, it's always good to have them there. Don't forget, you can obviously subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. You can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, Twitch, all that sort of stuff's obviously been along the top of the screen anyway, so you can obviously see that and do those few bits if you wanted to. But that is it from me, guys. Hope you enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you in the next one.